How's it going, guys? This is Revolution Ricky here in my house and in my office at Casa di Revolution. Here to show you what I got today. I usually make these things once a week, but I've made an exception. And I had a outing with my sister today. We haven't done it in a while, but we usually go out. When we were younger, we went out once a month to eat, have lunch, or go to the library or the bookstore and have fun. But this time around, I had to take her shopping for a car or something. But you know, she isn't going to make her decision on that later. But that's beside the point. But I ended up stopping off at the record store and getting a few items from my collection. So I'm going to show what I got. And without further ado, just my hat here. It's to stay with the theme of what I've been on for the past couple of videos with Kiss. And a little bit of something else. When I went to the record store today, I found this one promo copy of, one of my favorite Halloween movies of all time. And it's a promotional copy. And I thought, well, for $6, I'll get it. The guy threw it in for free because I ended up spending over $40. But Fastway's Kill Me With Your Heart off their 85 album, Waiting for the Roar. As everybody knows, Fastway did the soundtrack to Trick or Treat, and I had really loved that movie. You know, it's got Ozzy Osbourne, who we had just lost this year, and Gene Simmons, along with Mark Price, who was Skippy over there on Family Ties. He played Skippy from that, and Tony Fields, who was a solid gold dancer, who unfortunately passed away from AIDS in the 1990s. So I had picked this bad boy up. Fastway, it's, like I said, it's a promotional copy. I really like getting copies like this. It goes well with my Trick or Treat. And earlier this year, I had bought the Trick or Treat soundtrack on vinyl, and I had bought the other. There was this one website, I can't remember the name of it offhand, that sold the Fastway self-titled album for like $10, and I picked that up. So this was a good treat, no pun intended, for me to get. Fastway promotional single for Kill Me With Your Heart from The World Waits For You. Oh, I thought those. It says right. Okay, well, we'll see. I don't know the album cover. I just know that Fastway did the soundtrack to Trick or Treat, and I love that movie. And probably watch it later while my wife is counting sheep or snoring in unison with a dog. So I thought that was cool. And we'll set this right here. And go ahead and show you what my sister bought me, because my sister is a real good, we're close. I mean, she got, brothers and sisters fought all the time. We were no exception, but if anybody picked on her, answered to me. And if anybody picked on me, answered to her. We all each had each other's back. But while I was coming out of the record store, and she goes, "Why didn't you tell me?" I said, "Well, I was okay. I wasn't expecting anything." And she goes, "What was it called?" And I said, "Well," I told her the name. And she goes, "I'm going to go in there and buy it for you." I said, "You don't have to do that." "No, I want to do that." I said, "Oh, well, okay." So she went back in the record store. It was $25, but she bought me this. Kiss Unmasked. I actually, this was the either second or third cassette I had bought of Kiss back in the 80s, because I had all their albums, and I was getting all their albums, but this one, actually, it's a 2014 reissue, and it has the poster in it. The vinyl, I just tested it out, and it sounds great. I'm going to go ahead and show off the poster, and I'm not going to hang this on my wall, because it'll give my wife nightmares. She already has nightmares enough because she's married to me for all this time. So it comes with the poster. And like I said, we just lost Ace Frehley. And I really like that. You know, with albums from the 70s, you got a little extra added attraction. Nowadays, when you have albums, it's like you're lucky to get the lyric sheet. But I had bought Unmasked in the 80s. I think it was on cassette. It was on cassette, and it was like $5. So I had bought that because I was upping the thing about my Kiss catalog. And, well, you know, sometimes she'd borrow my cassettes, and a couple of times I never see them again, but with Kiss, it was an exception. She would give it back. I drew the line at them. And it was really nice of her to buy me that, because like I said, we've been close for so many years, and we've had periods where we wouldn't talk, and we would have periods that we have talked. So I was really shocked when she went back into the record store and bought it for me. But it was nice of her, and I thanked her for it. Now I'm going to show off what I bought. Well, besides that Fastway single, the 12-inch, it was very nice, and the guy to throw it in. But this is what I did get, because he had just gotten some Kiss albums in and was showing them off, and he goes, I'll sell you this for about $45. I said, okay, well. And he looked it over, and I've wanted this for years. Ever since I've heard about it, you know, some records are in good condition, has everything in there, and I'm going to open it up and show you what I bought. I don't think I have to say any more. Kiss Originals. I've been wanting this thing for years. And there it is. All 3 albums. I was actually tempted just to buy Unmasked, and that was it, and I was going to go off about my day. But when he pulled this out, and I said, well, how much you want for it? He goes, sell it to you for $45. I said, okay, I can work with that. And I took the record, despite the cover, the records are in fantastic condition. Here's record 1. I really don't like this. I'm going to have to get some other... Well, I'll go ahead and show it off. Here's record 1. You know, 1 and 2 of originals. This is the self-titled Kiss album. Here's Hotter Than Hell, which is my favorite of the Makeup albums. A lot of people will go, oh, it's Destroyer's mine. Oh, Dress to Kill. Or in the non-makeup, Revenge. Or Lick It Up. Or, well, hold my nose as I say this. Music from the Elder. Sorry, it just sounded geeky, but Hotter Than Hell is mine. I love Hotter Than Hell. It just sounds like a better album than the debut, but I like the debut also. So Hotter Than Hell is a great album. I had this on cassette too, but when I was coming back home from New York, I had all my Kiss stuff got stolen, and I had to rebuy it. And there's Trust to Kill, which just celebrated its 50th anniversary, and everybody's ordering the $200 thing. I can't afford that, so I'm satisfied with this. Dress to Kill, which has the hit Rock and Roll All Night, Come On and Love Me, Rock Bottom, Ladies in Waiting, Room Service, or is it? Yeah, Ladies in Waiting, Anything for My Baby. Just a good overall album. I mean, it's not Higher in Hell, which I love, but Higher in Hell has the hits, Going Blind, Got to Choose, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, Mainline, which is a good track, Strange Ways, it's another good track, Parasite, and Watching You. They still perform some of these songs, well, they did, when they would go out on tours, and still play them to this until they had, stopped. And of course, comes with a booklet. Has this little booklet here. I really, really loved this. I mean, had a little, I guess you could call it press release, or, had the thing about Cobo Hall, where Kiss really, really knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was just really, a really good thing to love. I love stuff like this because, when you bought an album in the 70s, you get a little treat to go with it, with Kiss or Alice Cooper. It was a poster, or Ambrosia would have an album go into a oh God, what is it called? Like a pyramid or something like that. And I like Ambrosia, but that's another story. I don't buy any albums by them. But this goes great with my Kiss collection of albums. I'm going to try to get more albums because, I showed these off in prior videos. I have this one that's just torn all the Kingdom Come and stuff, but it still plays good. I got to get some covers for it, put it in a plastic sleeve. And I got this one Alive 2. This one's my personal copy. I bought these from a friend of mine, and double platinum, which doesn't have the insert, but I don't care. It has the albums, and they play great. Like I said, I'm gonna have to get some covers for them. And of course, the first album I ever got by Kiss, Love Gun, which I've showed these off in a prior video. And this one is just scratch all the Kingdom Come. They had a copy of Love Gun in the record store, but I am a traditionalist, and it had the Kiss sleeve in there, but it didn't have the gun. And if I'm going to collect something, I want it all. And my grandmother bought me this copy of Love Gun from when I was 8 years old. And of course, we just lost Ace Frehley. I got Ace Frehley's Comet debut album, which I paid like $1 at, I think, Camelot Music when they were in business. They were getting rid of all their vinyl, and I bought them all cheap. So I think one day I went in there and spent $10 or $15 and bought a bunch of records from Keel, Frehley's Comet, Dokken, God, I can't remember who else. Oh God, so long ago. I can't remember if I bought Black Sabbath or not. I don't think I did. I think they had it there. It was the Heaven and Hell one, but I had never gotten it, but they had that for $1, and I never picked it up. But God, I can't remember. But you know, FYE went out of business at my mall, the mall here where I used to go all the time, because it was a, you know, teenagers spent their Saturday nights there looking at music and stuff like that, and I went there, and one of my former teachers was working there last time I went in there. But I bought this, I bought Beast from the East from Dokken, but it was all sorts of good music, and I would go in there and get records and stuff like that. But it was just so better. Now I went to the mall earlier this year with my wife, and I was like, why am I here? I'm 55 years old, and when I go to a mall, it was either to go to the record store or go pay a bill. Now I go to the mall and I'm like bored out of my freaking head. But you know, it was interesting because, you know, I hang out there all the time looking for music, you know, because back in the 80s and early 90s, there was not much for me to do. I didn't have no other outlets, so it was either music or watching professional wrestling or movies. So I was really happy that I got these 2 records, well, 3 records. You know, Kiss originals I've been wanting for years. That and Unmasked is, I was okay with getting it, but it wasn't really a hit or miss with me, so I was okay. But you know, I also like the comic book cover, comic book type cover to it, and of course the single from Fastway, "Kill Me with Your Heart." You know, all good. But anyway, I just want to come on here and show you what I bought. Well, I guess that's going to do it for me. I'm going to try to do some more of these videos. I had wanted to say I appreciate the few people who do watch them. You know, I post them on Facebook, but if you would leave me a comment, drop me a like, subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. And I'm gonna sign off here. This is Revolution Ricky signing off. Keep spinning that vinyl. This is just an example. And CDs. Little plug for Aerosmith. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.